Good evening, everyone. I'd like to now call this meeting to order, the meeting of the Village of Deerfield Board of Trustees, Monday, April 1st. Roll call, please.
Mayor Shapiro.
Here.
Trustee Benton.
Here.
Trustee Berg.
Here.
Trustee Goldstone. Here. Trustee Jacoby.
Here.
Trustee Metz-Childers.
Here.
And Trustee Oppenheim.
Here.
We have a quorum.
And we're saved by the bell. If we could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would ask Tamara Jenkins, the Director of the Festival of Arts, to please lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a big crowd tonight. And I think some folks are here for what is next on our agenda, and that's a presentation of the 2023 Donald Gehring Award to Detective Joanna Socorellis. And I'll hand this over to you, Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. If this seems a little deja vu-like, it's because it is. It was just back in January that we awarded the same award to Steve Pettarelli and Lauren Maldonado. If you recall, we were doing some catch-up from COVID, and tonight's activities will bring us current and up-to-date. So a little bit about the award first. The Donald E. Gehring Memorial Award is an annual award given by the Deerfield Board of Police Commissioners to recognize one officer or civilian employee for outstanding police service during the course of the year. For 2023, the Police Commission has recognized Detective Joanna Socorellis as the recipient of the 2023 Donald Gehring Memorial Award. Joanna, if you would join me up here. Where are you? Before we get into a little bit about Joanna's background, I will ask you to introduce. Yes, yeah, look at this crowd, and I think interview.
Thank you.
Interview guest family. Interview. Do it again.
My fiance Mike, what did it say? His father Rich, his mother Janet, my parents Tony and Costa, my sister Eleni, her sister-in-law, and my second sister Anna, and my brother-in-law Nick in the back.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here. A little bit about Joanna now. And she dedicated herself to a career in law enforcement early on, obtaining a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from the University of Wisconsin-Parkside, subsequently becoming a court security officer with Lake County before joining this department April 3rd, almost an anniversary date, 2017. While in the patrol division, Joanna became a certified DARE officer, social media coordinator, and helped organize numerous successful events like Citizens Police Academies, Coffees with a Cop, and participation in the Western Illinois University Recruitment Fair. Joanna helped plan and revitalize the department's Employee Appreciation Party in 2019 that has again become an annual event. Joanna was assigned to investigations in June of 2020, since became juvenile officer, evidence technician, investigator with the Lake County Major Crimes Task Force, a member of NORTAF, a Cook County-based investigative task force, and serves on the department's peer support program. As an investigator, Detective Socorellis provides outstanding service and shows genuine compassion to victims she deals with. As a community representative for the department, Joanna focuses her time and energy on community building and employee bonding within the department. She's always looking for ways to better the department and provide a sense of family to department members. 2023, she also participated in the following: 2 Coffee with a Cop events, Cram the Cruiser, Memorial Patch, Pink Patch, Holiday Toy Drive. I know I'm missing some others, but there are a lot of outside activities. And I think that's what the Police Commission really focused on, was those events outside. She's done a tremendous job getting those things through the department and those types of activities. So with that, the Commission and the department recognizes Joanna for her dedication to providing outstanding service on and off duty. And there should be an award up here somewhere.
Oops.
It'll be here shortly.
All the way downstairs.
Oh, did she sprint?
In the meantime, congratulations.
Thank you.
In addition to the celebration tonight, I would also like to point out that she was here with her fiance of about 2 weeks now. Congratulations. And Mike is a detective sergeant in Wheeling.
Oh,
Keeping it in the family.
So while we await for the award, is there anything you'd like to say?
Yes, I would like to say thank you.
Please come up to the mic. Yeah.
I'd like to say thank you to the board, thank you to the commission, thank you to my fellow officers and staff members with the Deerfield Police Department for nominating me for this award. It's a privilege to work here and be in such a great community that does support the police. And at this point forward, I'm still going to continue doing what I try to do best for our community and our department. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. And as soon as the award gets here, we'll take some pictures. Guess what?
Oh, she
There
was
we go.
fast. That was impressive.
That was like world record
She
time.
gets the fastest policeman award.
Fresh off the Amazon truck. There's a Donald E. Gehrig Memorial Award presented to Officer Joanna Saccarellis, presented by the Deerfield Board of Police Commissioners for your allegiance to the agency and the community at large through your hard work, dedication, and the numerous community service-related duties you perform for 2023. Again, congratulations. Good luck.
Congratulations.
There you go. Anything more you want to say?
Nope, that's it. Thank you so much.
Mayor, you want to step down with some pictures as well?
Yeah, do a good one. Let's get stuff like that.
It looks weird when the audience is the back.
oh, you like it better with the audience?
Not when our eyes are closed. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Thank you so much, Mayor.
Excuse me.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Good evening.
Just wait 1 second while we let those folks clear the room. Okay, our next item on our agenda is the presentation of the DHS Arts Alive. The floor is all yours. Please
Thank you
introduce
so
yourselves
much.
and let us.
Thank you for the time this evening to share some really exciting news. My name is Tamara Jenkins. I'm the Director of Arts Festivals for District 113. As many of you may know, Highland Park High School has had an arts festival for almost 60 years called Focus on the Arts. And this is the first year that Deerfield High School will now have its very own arts festival called Arts Alive. So we're very excited about that. Arts Alive is debuting the 15th through the 20th of April. And it is a week-long celebration of the arts, bringing professional artists to Deerfield High School for the students of Deerfield High School and for the community. So during the week of Arts Alive, we have professional artists across multiple disciplines coming in to give workshops for the fine arts students. This is the year one approach. We're hoping in the future that we will be able to bring artists into classrooms of other departments, such as bringing Shakespeare or poetry into an English class, or bringing an architect into a geometry class. There are many different approaches that we can take, finding that intersection between academia and the arts for the future. And that's how we hope to grow the program. This year we have some really exciting people coming to present workshops for the fine arts students, and some of them are Deerfield alumni. We have Kate Loprest coming back, who is a DHS alum, and she's a Broadway veteran. She's going to be teaching both the choir and the theater classes, coaching. We have film writer, director Pete Jones, who's a DHS alumni, coming to teach film to the film and TV and videography students. We have Jeffrey Landsman coming, who's a DHS father, who's also a very accomplished film and video producer. We have Ravinia artists coming to give workshops in orchestra. We have Theater Arts Northlight Theater Company doing a 10-week residency with theater students. We have a stage combat class for 3 different theater classes. We have dance from Afro-Cuban from Ruth Page Dance Company coming in to teach dance classes. So there's a really broad array of artists coming in during the week. Then on Friday, we have an all-school assembly, which happens twice, so that every student and every staff member can attend. And at that assembly, we have world music group Funkadesi, which is rated the #1 band in Chicago. And they're a really cool company that they're going to be coming down the aisles. They're doing different rhythm and calls from different companies with the students. That's going to be really awesome. And then we have Northern Illinois University Steel Drum Band coming in to perform, and Deeply Rooted Dance Company, who is now rated one of the top companies in the world, and they're based right here in Chicago. We also have during the week an artist, Brandon Hurley, who's going to come in, and she has created this design right here for a mural that will be hung in the hallways at DHS. And we have surveyed the students to ask, what does it mean to be a warrior? And they came up with the 5 words: passion, respect, pride, and what's the last one? Kindness. And so she has created this mural based on the messaging from those students, and she will be painting and bringing to life the mural in the cafeteria during the week so that all the students can see their concept coming to life as a piece of art. Then we also have on Saturday, and this is one of the things that I really hope that you can help us spread the word about. We have a Saturday Community Art Expo, which is our public-facing event. And this takes place on Saturday, April 20th from 11:30 to 2. We have 30 professional artists coming in to display and to some of them are working on art, and then others are giving an opportunity for community art pieces to be created. So they're hands-on opportunities. It's a free event. It's family-friendly, open to all, open house. You can just pop in and walk around. We have glass blowing. We have ceramics, mosaics, encaustics, weaving, paper quilling. We also have pop-up performances. We have community drum circles. We have a few times during the event a dance demonstration where the dancer's going to be teaching a hip-hop routine to whoever wants to dance with him. We have a puppet show, and we have giant wandering puppets. We have the AP art students from DHS who are also showing and working on their art. And we have one of the choir groups coming in to perform as well. So we're hoping that the entire community can embrace this event, bring their families, and come and enjoy a really exciting day of all things art. You may start to see these posters around town announcing the Art Expo, and that is the event that we are building towards, leading to. We really hope that everyone will come out and share the event with everyone that they know in the public, families and friends, etc. So that's it for the presentation. Does anyone have any questions about what the event is?
Tamara, thank you very much for the presentation. Sounds like you and your team have done a tremendous amount of work to bring this forward in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
And thank you for that. If people want to know more about it, is there a website? Is there a resource that they can go to?
There is a website, and it's DHS Arts Alive 2024.
Wonderful. Do we have any questions or comments for?
Looking forward to it.
Yes,
Thank
great job.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Minutes of the previous meeting, March 18, 2024, are Board of Trustees and Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
Move approval.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Treasurer's report, Eric.
Thank you. This is the February 2024 Treasurers Report. It represents 16% of the new year. Still pretty early in the year to draw any major conclusions, but I do have a few highlights for tonight. The net sales tax continues to exceed the prior 2 years. That's due largely to just everything costing more than it has in the past couple of years. Gross sales tax, though, is lagging the budgeted amount a little bit. That's due largely to economic incentive activity, which also results in a lower expenditure on the other side. So not overly concerned at this point. It's a long year, but we'll monitor that as we go throughout the year. Water and sewer billings reflect lower usage months, very typical this time of year. Interest income on the upside continues to outperform due to the rates remaining higher than we had expected when we projected the budget. Hotel tax reflects payments from all 6 hotels. Switching over to the expenditure side, some of the expenditures made in February, again, similar to January, relate back to 2023, so they're not reflected in this report tonight. But notable expenditures that are reflected here include the Village Hall key card upgrade, required salt purchases that Bob's talked about a couple times already, improvements at 839 Todd Court. We purchased some water meters, a public works truck, and a police explorer. So nothing out of the ordinary, but happy to answer any questions there may be tonight.
Does anyone have any questions for Eric?
No.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Those in payroll, do I have a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Jacoby?
Yes.
Trustee Metz Childers?
Yes.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Yes.
Trustee Benton?
Yes.
Trustee Berg?
Yes.
Trustee Goldstone?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Jerry. Now is the time of our meeting where we offer the opportunity for folks to offer public comment on non-agenda items. No one has signed in, but there are some people in the audience. In case anyone wants to make a public comment, now is the time on a non-agenda item. I do see a handsome row of young men in the back. I hear that all you guys went to Camp Ojibwa? Just a couple? All right, well, that's good. My son went there many years ago. So especially for the guys who went to Camp Ojibwa, welcome. The other guys, What are you doing here? Just observing?
It's like a first school assignment, like a project.
Great. Well, welcome. Any public comment? Okay. Takes us to our first report, item 2443, consideration and action on the Plan Commission recommendation for a special use amendment to permit the establishment of a maintenance building for Deerfield School District 109 at Caruso Middle School at 1801 Montgomery Road in the P1 Public Lands District. To my left is not Kent Street. It's not Andrew Lickerman. It's Justin Keener, our Assistant Village Manager, who is going to give us a report on this.
Thank you, Mayor. The Plan Commission held a public hearing on February 22nd, 2024 to consider amending their special use to permit the construction of a 9,600 square foot maintenance building for District 109 at Caruso Middle School. The building will consist of a garage space, storage, and offices for staff, along with 4,200 square feet of outdoor storage space that will be surrounded by an 8-foot fence. After consideration, the Plan Commission voted 5-0 in favor of the special use amendment. The petitioner is present to give a short presentation and answer any questions.
If you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself, and then
Sure. I'm Tim Ryan, Director of Buildings and Grounds for District 109.
George Demarakis, the architect for the school district, and to my right is Claudia Welp. She is the civil engineer. So if I can't answer something, I'm bringing her up there as backup, just so you all know. It's DEM, as in Mary, Arakis. Do you need Tim to spell it? Because his is much easier than mine.
All right, guys, you want to give us a presentation?
Yes, thank you. You stole half my thunder, Justin, but I will kind of walk through the goal of tonight. As we've been working with the district for many years now, the big push for us this past summer was to look at their buildings and grounds facility. The current facility is located in Shepherd Middle School, taking up pretty prime real estate for educational space. So as the services and the department has grown, we were trying to find a way to pull it out of that building and give them their own freestanding structure that is a little more conducive to the type of activities they'd like to do. So we investigated all the sites at Deerfield, all their school district sites, and the most prime location was Caruso. We wanted to make sure we designed something that was further away from the public eye, at a smaller scale, on a piece of property that had real estate that we weren't impacting anything on the site. And that site at the southwest corner at Caruso was the main spot that we found. So tonight I'll kind of show you a little bit of a walkthrough of the intent and the location of where it's going. The goal was that blue highlighted area you see on the plan is the southwest corridor, and that is just a grass area that's adjacent to their existing parking lot. So our goal was to utilize their existing parking lot for the path of traffic, help, it's already designed for heavy duty for any sort of trucks that would be there, and really it gives us prime access to get a truck in, reverse into the site, and around. There are other structures that are already there and that we are making sure we do not touch. We are minimizing our footprint to make sure we are not kind of impacting many trees. And really, it became a perfect spot for us to locate the building. As it was mentioned, the building is approximately 10,000 square feet. It is a single-story structure. And the way it's designed, the west half of it is kind of the larger garage space. The east half of it is the office space for staff. And if you were to zoom in, we wanted to do it for a scale perspective. So as you approach the property, you'd see the smaller structure first before you went to the larger. So it's kind of like a tiered cake approach where it kind of helps minimize the size of it and the aesthetic. It is going to be a primarily corrugated metal structure. We are adding a wainscot of brick ribbon around the whole structure that would kind of tie in and complement the existing building. And the corrugated metal will be a blue that would match it as well. And I remember during the Plan Commission, they asked for a sample of what that would look like. This is that sample out of the back pocket. It is Roman blue, and that is kind of what we're using to mimic the rest of the building. The design intent, as you can see, is a pretty simple structure, and in it is going to house 8 staff members that are, as they work throughout the day, they are projecting out. They go out to the existing schools that they service, and they come back, and this is their touchdown spot. So a lot of it will be storage for the different facilities, every grade level appropriate storage, their garage maintenance, trucks, you name it, everything would be housed in one spot. And what that is going to do is give us the opportunity to free up the space in Shepherd School for any sort of future work that we'd like to do there interior-wise to kind of get the educational pieces back. That's really it. Questions?
And what would that freed up space be at Shepherd?
Things that would be working through the types of services that they're looking to achieve, be it bands, arts, music, all complementary spaces. It's in that corner of the building, and that is part of next summer's look at as we look at things. But it would be getting that real estate back and then investigating the right appropriate solution of what that could be in there for the school.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from the board?
How does it impact pickup or drop off? Parents picking no, won't impact it at all. I just imagine because there's truck maintenance, right? So I didn't know if there was more traffic going in and out.
All the small trucks will fit inside the building.
Oh.
They'll fit inside the building.
But will the trucks be an obstruction to the other traffic at the parking lot?
No. Okay. No, they will be inside the building.
Totally enclosed?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the trucks you use for the school district are small.
They're all F-150s.
I mean, they're talking
50s.
pickup trucks.
Yeah.
And it's all trucks that they've been utilizing at Shepherd that have been parked out in front of the building.
And I noticed the garage space of this building is a pass-through. Mm-hmm. So you can come in the north side, come out the south side, and then just exit through the parking lot. I applaud you. I mean, I know the site very well. I was on the 109 board when we added to this building. And this particular space that you picked is probably the least used space anywhere in the school district. So, cha-ching. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you at all. Thank you. Like, not being used.
Right. And I looking at the landscape plan, I applaud you. That looks like it's going to be an additional amenity for the site, that it's going to help dress up this area. And let's not forget, the school backs up to the tollway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the south side backs up to a busy road. So we're dressing up an area that's not necessarily so wonderfully attractive at this point anyway.
Yeah.
So to me, this is win-win. This looks great.
Thank you. Thank you.
My only question is, having gone to Shepherd for a couple of, of meetings, you can go in, and we always, if the parking was filled or if there were some other reason, we would go around the back on the west side and around the back where the parking was. I'm assuming you're going around now. You're turning north and going around the back of what would be considered the back of the school, and that's where you find the parking. Once the front is filled.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
That's what I thought.
Is there an existing structure on the proposed site?
No, there isn't. We made sure to dodge all of those elements.
I'm sorry?
We made sure to stay away from any existing structure. There is an
There's
older
a small
structure that is right there that is staying.
Okay.
And then the shed that's getting removed.
Oh, there is a shed that is getting removed on the south side.
It's labeled as a shed. There's a story about that shed.
No, a different shed. There's
that
a
one
power
stayed.
shed.
Okay.
That one
is
stays. The power shed that controls the pumps goes.
But they're like little outbuildings. They're, like little.
Any questions from the public?
I actually got really excited thinking that those kids back there were excited about our new building.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
that's
itching,
why-
they're itching to make a comment. Is there a motion to accept the Plan Commission's recommendation and to have the village attorney prepare an ordinance?
Move approval.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Sorry. Trustee Metz-Childers.
Yes.
Trustee Oppenheim.
Yes.
Trustee Benton.
Yes?
Trustee Berg.
Yes.
Trustee Goldstone.
Yes.
And Trustee Jacoby.
Yes.
Motion passes.
This will be on a future agenda for the adoption of the ordinance.
Perfect. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
What's your timing on this?
Summer, starting in the summer, done by early fall, hopefully. If you ask him, summer. Done by summer. Thank you all.
All right, thanks, guys. We have nothing on the consent agenda. We have no old business. Under new business, item 2444, an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Municipal Code of the Village of Deerfield that increases the number of Class C liquor licenses by 1 to 5 for Shake Shack, Illinois, LLC. Justin.
Shake Shack Illinois LLC has requested a Class C beer and wine liquor license for their new location at 560 Waukegan Road. This is contingent upon the completion of the background check. This ordinance also decreases the liquor license number by 1, which is for Bobby's Closing. So we're removing 1 Class C liquor license from the municipal code.
And as we did, I think for Tequoia, it's effective upon the passage of the ordinance and the passing of the background checks, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And I know what everyone wants to know is Shake Shack plans to open the end of April. So only a few more weeks.
Wonderful. Any questions from the board? Questions from the public? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Oppenheim.
Yes.
Trustee Benton.
Yes.
Trustee Berg.
Yes.
Trustee Goldstone.
Yes.
Trustee Jacoby.
Yes.
And Trustee Metz-Childers.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 2445, an ordinance amending Section 23-5 of the Municipal Code of the Village of Deerfield regarding water service.
This ordinance codifies the village's practice of requiring a minimum 1.5-inch water service between the water main and the B-box, even in the situation that a home, due to a renovation or a new construction, per the Illinois Plumbing Code, it only requires a 1-inch service. The reason for this, and it's been the SOP for Public Works for probably the past 2 decades, requiring the 1.5 inches, is if you install the 1.5 inches and then there's an additional renovation or the house is torn down and the new house is being built, it just limits cutting into the road, cutting into the right-of-way. So it's really just planning for the future by having that minimum 1.5 inch service.
So basically, we're codifying our existing practice, the practice we've had for a number of years.
Exactly. This really is only a limited number of circumstances per the Illinois Plumbing Code. All new homes, if you have 2.5 bathrooms, a kitchen, a utility room, you're going to require an 1.5 inch service. So 100% of new homes require that. So it's really only smaller homes that are having renovations that would trigger this 1.5 inch service.
Bob, anything you want to add on this? Questions from the board?
No.
Public? Is there a motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Yes.
Trustee Berg.
Yes.
Trustee Goldstone.
Yes.
Trustee Jacoby.
Yes.
Trustee Metz-Childers.
Yes.
And Trustee Oppenheim.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 2446, an ordinance amending Chapter 6 of the Municipal Code regarding contractor guarantee deposits.
This ordinance would allow the Community Development Department to add a $2,000 deposit that for construction permits that would be paid for directly by the contractor. So this is different than the right-of-way or the road opening deposit that can be paid for by the contractor or the homeowner. This would be applied essentially sparingly in limited circumstances where maybe a stop work order has been issued or the village has had issues with this contractor in the past. Basically just a protection for homeowners who have applied for a permit. They've paid the deposit themselves. For whatever reason, the contractor maybe doesn't want to complete the work. Therefore, the village has this bond, and either we complete the work or what we really prefer is the contractor completes the work, we refund the deposit, and everyone's happy. So again, just
Not a bond, it's a deposit.
It's
right?
just a deposit, yes. So it's a fully refundable deposit.
So how do we decide when to impose this?
So in many circumstances, it may be that a stop work order has been issued. So, for example, a few weeks ago, a contractor was lining a sanitary service on a residential property. They inverted the liner. They broke the sanitary service. They then, again, all without a permit, they then dug up the service for the sanitary service. They hit the water service. So now they've broken the sanitary service. They've broken the water service. They called Public Works out. Public Works turned on the B-box, told them not to touch it. They touched it and broke the B-box. So it's just a and then they tried to blame the village for all this. So it's circumstances like this, again, extremely sparingly. This does not happen a lot. But in those types of circumstances where it's you've done everything wrong, we're now going to implement this $2,000 deposit to the contractor. Because again, the homeowner's getting the permit, they're trying to do it right. It's the contractor who's really doing the things that are wrong. So therefore, we don't want to be punitive to the homeowner. We want to work with the contractor to make sure that they comply. It also happens, again, a contractor, just due to construction costs, may not want to patch a road. They may want to not restore the right-of-way. By having the contractor on the hook, they're going to do the work and not just leave the homeowner who's already paid them high and dry.
But it's implemented post the problem, after the problem? What would make them pay this?
So in the event of a stop work order, it would be post part of the work being done and then just making sure that it's rectified. And in other circumstances where we, unfortunately, we have some contractors who maybe have had stop work orders issued many times in the past to where with those circumstances or contractors who've damaged property and haven't restored it, we would implement that in the beginning.
Because of their past poor record of performance. That I understand. Yeah. But I'm tracking with Rebecca's question. Is this something we impose midway through the construction process?
No. So this would either be upon issuing of the permit.
Okay.
So if it's contractors we know we've had issues with in the past, it would be immediately. With a stop work order, the job's already done or partially done. That's the only time it would be implemented. But again, it's still upon completion of the permit. So this wouldn't be you have a permit, 3 months later we then issue this deposit. It's always upon the issuance of the initial permit, whether it's a stop work order, so the job's already done, or it's upon a brand new job with a brand new permit that's been applied for. So it's always upon issuance of the permit. This is not 6 months later we're like, hey, knock, 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 here's a $2,000 deposit. It's always in the beginning.
It's kind of like insurance policy.
Exactly. And again, this would be very, very sparingly. There's, the vast majority of contractors reputable. We have no issues. So it's just, again, hopefully we don't have to do this, but it would only be a handful of times.
And legally, it's possible for us to impose this not unilaterally on everyone. We are legally able to select the circumstances under which this would be appropriate to apply?
Yeah. Defer that to Steve, but...
I am confident that the village staff will be using the power that would be granted by this ordinance fairly and not arbitrarily or capriciously.
Oh, I absolutely am with you. I know our staff would not. What I'm getting at is are we opening ourselves to any kind of a legal question that someone would accuse us of using this arbitrarily?
That is certainly a risk, but I, again, am confident that the staff will be using this power, if granted, in a way that won't evoke that kind of response.
Is this pretty common?
No.
Other villages or towns or?
No, it's unique.
I have a question.
This is kind of like a bad apple insurance policy. If we are aware of a bad apple contractor, right?
Essentially, yes.
Okay.
And would we do
it is
it-
not across the board. It is not going to be issued or imposed upon all contractors. It's ones that we, like you explained, either has a bad past with us or homeowners or stop work order. That's where.
But it will be, I am confident, utilized fairly with respect to the same standards for all, as you call them, bad apples. Everyone that has that falls into a category will be equally assessed this deposit requirement. There will be standards developed by the staff to apply this fairly across the board to all those that satisfy certain standards that are developed by the staff.
And those will be written somewhere so people understand when they fall into the category and when
We'll
they don't?
discuss that at the staff level.
Absolutely.
Jennifer had a question.
I do. I have a couple questions. So one is, will the homeowner be made aware that their contractor has to come up with this money, and how do we know that they're not going to pass that cost through to the residents?
So we can collect these separately. So through OpenGov, or whether they're coming in however they're coming in paying, we can ensure that it's not the homeowner paying this. So whether we take that this is paid separately where the contractor comes in, but we would make sure that it's the contractor themselves, not the homeowner.
Okay. And my other question was, if the resident or the owner of the home learns of this added issue, it doesn't attach to the project, it attaches to the contractor. So if they switched contractors, then the $2,000 could go away?
Then we would refund that contractor, and then there would be, again, we may not need a deposit then,
right.
but yeah, they would just be the next contractor.
Because it might be a red flag to a homeowner is what I'm thinking.
Is there going to be verbiage in the ordinance that specifically states that this would be imposed to a contractor who had negative or violations in the past with the municipality?
So it doesn't say specifically that it's contractors that are doing negative work, because we also want to, when a resident calls, we have to be very careful what we say in regards to a contractor.
Or that have violations have occurred.
Yeah, and so in many cases, and again, I imagine the majority of times this would be implemented is in the case of a stop work order. So we've already gone out there, permits have not been pulled, the contractor's made aware of this. So in that situation, everyone knows exactly where we stand.
If I may, just based on the very, very good comments and concerns raised by the board, I would suggest, if you were to go ahead and approve this, that you also direct us to work with staff to develop criteria for utilization of this that would be in writing, that can be used. It would make me feel more comfortable, and it sounds like it would make you all feel.
So the other option is we table this and have those standards or criteria built into the ordinance.
Mayor, that is certainly an alternative. That's not necessary. We could work that at the staff level.
Okay.
It's up to you. I feel confident that we could work at the staff level if you want to pass this tonight.
Does the board have a preference one way or the other?
And that means it wouldn't come back through the board?
Right.
Yeah. Does the board have a preference one way or the other?
I'm comfortable with that. It's just, as I think Steve understands our concerns, we'd like language that defines the conditions under which this is going to be applied so that our staff isn't accused of some kind of arbitrary or unfair imposition, and that it's made clear as to why we would be assessing this. I think that's our concern.
I would like us to take a second reading on this at our next meeting.
Yes.
With given these comments and build some of these comments into the
I agree.
ordinance for a second reading.
What about when someone has a contractor that's never worked in Deerfield before?
Then we,
Have them do
according to this discussion, we wouldn't be able to impose. We would not impose the $2,000. But that doesn't mean we can't consider that. I mean, that's not what I'm hearing as the intent, but that doesn't mean we can't consider it.
Well, it would
I'd
include
be
it.
less comfortable with that.
It would include some research on the contractor as we work with him. If he has a reputation for doing something like that, we would be aware of it.
Yeah, but that would not necessarily be everyone who's never worked here.
No.
I know staff knows this stuff. They've heard of contractors that have a bad reputation or who have come through the village and done damage that has had to be rectified.
Yeah.
And that's what this is aimed toward. But for any contractor who comes to the village and has never worked here before to impose a new guy tax on them or deposit, I'm not comfortable with that.
Neither am I. So I think if we do a second reading, it also gives the contractors more notice of what's happening.
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay.
How do we do that?
So it wouldn't necessarily be a second reading. We only have one reading, but what you would do would simply be continue this matter.
Okay, sure.
And we'll develop, it sounds like your desire is for us to develop the criteria as part of the ordinance.
Yes. So is there a motion to continue this, to develop criteria to put into the ordinance for our consideration?
So moved.
And a future board date? Second. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
That could be a voice vote. Doesn't matter.
Yes.
Stone?
Yes.
Trustee Jacoby? Yes. Trustee Metz-Childers?
Yes.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Yes.
Trustee Benton?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great questions by the board. I think it's worth us fleshing it out a little bit and developing those, whatever we want to call it, criteria, standards, guidelines, whatever. Items for discussion by the mayor and the board. I have two items tonight. Wednesday was it, David? Wednesday, Thursday, whatever, Friday, one of those days. I did meet with Representative Bob Morgan, just cause. We talked about stuff that's going on in Springfield and stuff that's going on in the village. It was a good meeting. He tries to meet with mayors in his district. And I was grateful that I was one of those that he met with last week. Also, kudos to you, Justin. Great job tonight. I know this is an unfamiliar seat for you at this time in your career. You did a great job. Thank you for sitting to my left tonight. That's all I have. Do you have anything?
Nothing to add.
Trustees?
Nope.
All right, I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The meeting's adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.